Hello, amazing people. My name is Renita Brannon, and I'm so excited to share the LifeWave opportunity with you tonight. Please talk to the person who shared this video with you. They absolutely love you and care about you enough to show something to you that is going to change your life. Now, our life changed almost a year ago to the date. It was pretty wild. My husband and I live up here in North Dakota. We have 3 boys. We help take care of our aging parents. And my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 5.5 years ago. And we were dealing with a health practitioner up in Canada. And my friend Doris, she's been a nurse for 20 years up in Canada. One day in a conversation, she said, Renita, I have something that I think might help your mom with her Parkinson's. She said, it really helped my neighbor lady. And I said, sure, like we are so open to alternative modalities of health and healing. We know that the good Lord wants us well, so we are open. And so Doris said, I'm going to send you something. She said, it really was quite miraculous with my neighbor lady. And she said, it's a patch. And so we got the patches in the mail. I started patching up my mom. And once you know it, it was about the 11th day when I literally saw a miracle before my eyes with my 77-year-old mother. My husband Scott and I walked into her house, and mom was in the house, and she was 8:30 in the morning. And typically she'd be using that walker. I don't know if you know anyone with Parkinson's, but a lot of times they rely on walkers or canes or different things, especially in the morning hours, because their bodies don't produce dopamine, right? Well, here it was 8:30 in the morning. My mom walked out of her bedroom just like nothing and said, hey, Nita, do you want me to make you some eggs? And I was like shocked. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, who are you? And she said, what do you mean? She goes, do you want me to make you some eggs? I said, Mom, where is the walker? Like, you've used that walker pretty much every day for the last almost 3 years. And she said, well, it's in the bedroom. I said, it's in the bedroom. She goes, yeah, I didn't need it. I didn't need it today. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what do you mean you didn't need it today? Like, how can you just not need it? And then I went back to the patch. My mom had been wearing that patch for 11 days. And my mom, I'm telling you what, I could tell you so many incredible things that have happened with my mom. Her name is Pearl. She is incredible. She exercises every single day. No more tremor. Her penmanship came back fully. She started peeling potatoes and peeling apples again. We hadn't given her a knife in like a year because she was so unsteady with it. She went to the dentist a couple months after wearing X39, and we also added the 49 patch for bone density and blood flow. And once you know it, mom's periodontal disease was essentially gone. They told me at the dental office, it's like we're looking at a different mouth. What on earth did you do with her mouth after 5.5 years of battling this periodontal disease? And I said, you know what? We put a patch on my mom. It's the X39 patch. And I could tell you story after story after story about my mother, but I want to move to my father because that is how it started. My mom is what got it started. But that morning when we were sitting at the table discussing this, just my mom walking without the walker, my father was sitting there and he had been dealing with these legs, the legs you see over there on the left. And he had been dealing with those for a long time, like 6 months, oozing, goozing, very edemic looking. If you see that, he was miserable. They itched, they burned, he couldn't walk. And my dad was sitting at the kitchen table that morning. And I said, hey, Dad, where are those patches? He said, I think they're in your mother's bedroom. And I said, you know what? We're going to try one of these patches on you for your legs. And he said, I thought the patch was for Parkinson's. I said, I have no idea what this patch is for, but if it did that to mom, I think it's going to do something for you. And you guys, my father was a one patch miracle. Here we go. This was 24 hours later. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm going to tell you what, all the oozing dried up. His legs never oozed again after we put that first patch on. The edema was gone. Like, we came back the next morning, my husband and I, we opened the front door to the house and I looked down and there stood that little Marine. And I said, Dad, the chicken legs are back. And he turned and he kind of laughed and he walked away and he said, you know what? It looks like that patch worked. And at that point, we knew we had something phenomenal in our hands. I had witnessed firsthand what it had done to my 77-year-old mother and my 80-year-old father. Within 5 weeks, my dad was completely off of all of his blood pressure medication. And for the first time in his life, his blood pressure was normal and some days even a little on the low side, which was crazy, right? He had never experienced that in his life. He was sleeping through the night. I mean, we never in that last 6 months had those legs stopped oozing until we put a patch on. That patch changed the course of all of our lives. It's been such an incredible blessing. And then July 3rd of last year, the good Lord woke me up because I started wearing the patch. And I finally slept through the night after not sleeping for 9 consecutive nights. I'll just be honest with you, not sleeping is like torture for those of you that can't sleep. And I would pretty much wake up at 2 a.m. for the day, every single day. And I just was pretty miserable. I was a high producer during the day, but I was not sleeping at night. And I put the patch on, and it was the third night I went to bed, and I actually slept through the night, and I woke up in the morning and it was light in my bedroom. And I'm going to tell you what, I hadn't slept through the night in 9 months. I thought it was maybe a fluke, so I didn't get too overly excited. Well, that night I went to bed and I woke up. It was July 3rd, the morning of July 3rd, I woke up and it was light in my bedroom again. And I just laid there and I thanked God for giving me rest, because I hadn't had rest for so long. And I sat on the edge of my bed that morning and I was thanking God in prayer. And literally, I felt the Holy Spirit speak to me and came into my spirit and said, "You're entering an abundant season of miracles." And I stood to my feet and I said, "Yes, Lord." That was the start of all of the life, like all of this year-long miracles that we've seen, which is every day. My husband and I have a miracle inbox. We get to see miracle after miracle. I mean, this is another example. My friend Penny, she had cancer 6 years ago. Crazy amounts of chemotherapy. She's dealt with these hands for 6 years. I mean, this eczema would not go away. She spent thousands of dollars on potions, lotions, pills, everything to try to get this to stop. In 5 days, that was my friend Penny's hands. She could not believe her eyes. I mean, we get to see this every single day. Now, listen, everyone's results are different. I'm not telling you it's going to treat, cure, or prevent any disease, but I am going to tell you, you are about to change your health. Your health is about to improve, because when you activate your stem cells, everything changes in your body. You literally renew your body to a younger, healthier state. So the question is, have you been patched yet? I have more great things to show you, but I want to show you a little bit more about this incredible patch. It's called the X39. It's wonderful. It comes in a little sleeve like this. You're going to get a sleeve of patches that look like this. And on the envelope, it says phototherapy. And inside of it, you're going to get 30 little patches that are very small. They're about the size of a Band-Aid. You simply peel the back of that off. I'm just going to peel off the back of my patch there. And you can put it anywhere. A lot of people like to put it on the base of their neck or under their belly button. Some people like to put it on a point of pain. So if you say, "I've got shoulder pain," you could put it right there. The X39 and 49 are systemic. So they will go to the weakest area in your body and help to start regenerating and repairing that area. So everybody's bodies are different, right? So I'm not sure exactly what you need regenerated, but when you put the patch on, it's going to go to work for what is a priority in your body. Now, I'm here to tell you, as a health coach of 25 years, it's time to make yourself a priority. I know that when people get well, I tell you what, they are a blessing on this planet. When people are sick, it's very difficult. If you've ever been in a season of sickness in your family, in your home, you know it's difficult. You just pray for a miracle, right? Well, I think it's so interesting in the book of James how it says that every good and perfect gift comes from heaven, the Father of heavenly lights. And now we're going to start talking about light therapy and phototherapy, because light has an incredible ability to help our bodies to heal. Okay, so how are we wearing this incredible phototherapy patch? You put it on the base of your neck, under your belly button, or just like I showed you, anywhere you'd really like. You wear it 12 hours on, usually daytime hours, and then you take it off at night to rest and rejuvenate while you're sleeping. Put a fresh patch on the next morning. And that's really it. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Okay. The most important thing with your nutrition is make sure you're well hydrated. So I don't just believe in drinking a bunch more water, because then you'll have a bunch more urination. I believe in really consuming plenty of electrolytes. So electrolytes are electrolyzed minerals. We're talking things like magnesium, Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt, potassium. Get it from your food if you can. So consuming coconut water, avocados, those are great sources, by the way. Melons, watermelons, sweet potatoes, all of those are incredible sources of potassium. And when your body begins to regenerate, when you put this patch on and the patch actually stimulates and activates that GHKCU peptide, you actually are going to increase your mitochondrial production. And when that happens, you're going to need extra electrolytes. So my biggest advice I can give with the patch is 12 hours on, 12 hours off, but make sure you get in plenty of electrolytes. So what is this patch doing? This patch is actually activating a peptide called GHKCU. Now you can write that down. You can go to Google and Google that, GHKCU. But the GHKCU peptide has been around since 1973. In fact, there's a great book I have here. It's called GHK Copper Peptides, and it's written by Dr. Lauren Picard. Okay. And as it says down here, resetting your genes to youth today. By activating this GHKCU peptide, you actually reset up to 6,000 of your genes to a younger, healthier state. And part of that process, when it does that, it actually activates your body's own ability to activate stem cells. So it activates some of those sluggish ones that are sitting around waiting to be used, but it actually creates brand new stem cells, this GHKCU peptide. So it's an incredible peptide that is miraculous for healing, right? And so people say, well, stem cells, I've heard some things about that. Have you guys heard about stem cells? You know, we actually took my mom down to, we were thinking about taking my mom down to Tijuana, but because it was during the pandemic and the border was a little worrisome, my mom didn't necessarily want to go. They wanted $20,000 for injections down there. And also they said to me, Renita, it doesn't work all the time the first time. You might need to come back for multiple visits. Well, we opted not to do the stem cell injections, partly because my mom was nervous and partly because I'm always concerned what's in the needle, right? I know that, you know, is it somebody else's stem cells we're getting? Is it aborted baby fetuses? What are we getting? So we said no to Tijuana. But once you know what, the good Lord had a plan, because 1 month later, Doris sent us the patches from Canada. And when we got those patches, everything in our life has changed since that moment. I didn't realize at the time why my dad's legs and why my mom was walking without the walker. I didn't have any idea how that happened. I basically was asking myself, what's in that patch? What is in that patch that is producing that result? The beautiful thing is there's no transdermal. So when you put this patch on, there's no medication or herbs or anything leaching into the body. It's basically 6 natural ingredients: water, salt, sugar, amino acids, oxygen. And all they do is they form a little crystal type pattern. And what that crystal pattern does in the patch is it reflects your own body light, your own body heat back into the body. So we're 98.7 degrees. We actually emit a low level heat, a low level light. You can see that if you put, you know, night goggles on that the military uses. Also, another industry that looks at a lot of heat and things like that is thermograms, right? Thermography. And so there's different ways of detecting the body heat of the humans. But the truth be told, the patch is just being warmed up by the body heat and that light, that low level light that we're emitting, and then it reflects different frequencies of light back into the body that activate peptides. So with the X39 patch that I showed you, it actually activates that GHKCU peptide that activates our stem cells. So why are these stem cells such a big deal? Well, the New England Journal of Medicine has stated that the #1 indicator of our wellness, the #1, like say that out loud, it's the #1 indicator of how well we are, is directly correlated to this number of stem cells in the bloodstream. So these stem cells are incredible. Stem cells are actually the very first cell when you're created in your mother's womb. There's actually a stem cell. And in that womb, then the stem cell divides, then it becomes different organ systems, your brain, your spinal column, your lungs, your heart, all those organ systems, right? And so stem cells are the only cell that can really develop into any other type of cell in the body. That's why they're used incredibly for organ repair, tissue repair, and things like that. But the thing of it is as we get older, our stem cells go down. And this is why people age. This is why you usually don't have gray hair in your 20s, but you start getting it maybe in your 30s and 40s, right? This is why you don't really have a whole lot of aches and pains in your teens and maybe 20s, but in your 30s, you wake up and you're like, geez, I slept wrong, right? And so what happens is because we're getting less and less stem cells, and so there's less and less natural internal repair happening, right? And so a teenager has 1 billion of these things, but by age 30, there's a 60% reduction of the stem cells in our body. I don't know if any of you watching this are 30, but I think 30 is super young. I have a 23-year-old son, and Bo said to me, Mom, I'm 23. If there's a 60% reduction at age 30, he said, I'm 23. There's probably a 50% reduction in me. I said, exactly. That's exactly why we wear the patch, Bo. But by age 50, if any of you are watching and you're 50 years old, know that there's a 75% reduction of these stem cells. Wow. By age 60, again, 60 is young, there's a 90% reduction. And by age 80, there's a 95% reduction of these stem cells. This is why I think that my dad and my mom had such tremendous results so quickly, because they're older. I told my dad, you probably have 2 circulating stem cells. They're trying to find each other in your body. But all that changed when we put the patch on my dad that day. When we put the patch on my dad that day, his body said, wake up, time to activate those stem cells, time to create new stem cells. Let's go to work, boys. And those stem cells then go to the weakest area in the body. Remember, whatever your weakest link is, that's where stem cells will go to help repair and regenerate. So it's incredible that God gave us this. It's like a God-given gift, these stem cells, right? And who knew that there was a way that we could naturally increase our own? No injections, no chemicals. Literally, we're using phototherapy or light to activate the own stem cell creation in our body. It's incredible. So we see a lot of incredible things, from rapid pain relief to reduce inflammation, mental clarity. Incredible for people that are athletes. We find that the recovery time is so much faster. My son, big time athlete, runs 8 to 18 miles a day. He actually is an NCAA athlete, Division I athlete. And he said, Mom, this is the first year in 5 years that I've not had to go into the training room. The training room is a place where they go for injuries. He said, typically I was in there 3 times a week. This last semester of college, Bo had the best times of his entire track career, and he was 100% injury free. He did not go into the training room one time. So we are strong believers in this patch, not only for people that maybe have, issues. This is for healthy people as well. This is for those that want to maintain that health and that competitive edge. And so we see incredible results with this. How is it working? Again, the patch is activating copper peptide called GHKCU. And when you activate that copper peptide in the body, it activates our own stem cells. Just incredible, isn't it, that we can activate our own stem cells through light? So I love this because the patch doesn't have to go through your stomach, your liver, your kidneys, none of that. This is light therapy, phototherapy. And so it's amazing what we can do to activate the healing mechanisms in our body, just using our own body heat and our own body light, right? And so this is an incredible topography map where they showed really the brain coherence of a woman. Now, with brain coherence, you really want a lot of like the blues and like softer colors are really great. When you see a lot of red, there's a lot of inflammation. So red is like dead, like you just don't want all that inflammation in the brain. It means the brain, the different areas of the brain are not communicating well. So maybe there's some memory loss, maybe there's fatigue, maybe there is, anxiety or depression or things like that. So this was a 77-year-old woman, and obviously she was not very coherent in the brain. This little visual you see here is after her wearing the X39 patch just for a few short weeks. So we see incredible things with brain health. My 23-year-old son actually said to me on the 8th day of wearing the patch, Mom, something is different in my head. I just feel better. I haven't had that migraine, because he always had kind of a headache on one side of his head. He said, I haven't had that. He said, my brain is just thinking clearer. He's like, he was happier in the head. And we noticed it because he was spending more time with the family. He was waking up earlier. He had lost some of those kind of symptoms that he had of anxiety or depression or whatever. So very incredible for the brain. You don't have to be 77 to want better brain coherence. I look around at the world and I believe the world needs better brain coherence. So the patches are incredible. There's 89 clinical studies on these patches. So this is not something that we keep our fingers crossed and we hope this is going to work. There's 89 clinical studies, so very much proven results with all of these patches. So this is another example. I love this. They show you the infrared imaging of the heat in the body. And again, just after a short period of time when you're looking at these, look at how that thermal heat, that imaging changes so quickly in a short period of time, guys. So we're talking within 15 to 30 minutes, it's reducing inflammation drastically. And again, here's another one over here. This is a LifeWave patch. Relieving devices were applied to the participant on the bottom. So the infrared, this is actually 5 minutes later between these pictures. Isn't this incredible? Put the patches on. This is 5 minutes later. So as you can see, if we can reduce inflammation, we're going to eliminate a lot of problems in our body. And I could show you graphic after graphic, but they're just incredible results with these patches. So first few days, you're going to see 4,000 to 6,000 genes beginning to reset. You may or may not feel that. I want you to know, my mom did not feel her spider veins going away. My mom did not feel her periodontal disease getting better. My mom did not feel, well, she actually did feel some things that were happening because, the tremor went away. So she felt that right away, but she didn't feel some of those things that were happening internally until we went back to the doctor, and the doctor's like, wow, what have you done? Right? So be patient with this. It takes at least 90 days for the tissues and the cells really to fully turn over. So give this time. And remember, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee for any of you that say on day 29, I don't want to do this. You can get your money back. But I'm here to tell you, my husband and I are the top enrollers in the world. And we've enrolled a lot of people, and not one single person has really asked for that money-back guarantee in the last year. So that's how well these patches work. It's just incredible how it works for everybody. And again, the timing that it works for is just dependent on the person and how their bodies are adapting and how severe their conditions are. If they've been dealing with something for 30 years, it may take a bit longer, but be patient with it. Your health is worth it. You're worth it, right? So within 3 months, your collagen starts to increase. That happened actually on the 6th week for me. I had this big old liver spot over here on my cheek that my esthetician had shaved off several times. It was gone within 6 weeks. And so when I saw that, I was like, holy cow, I must be having massive changes on the inside if I can visibly see my skin changing on the outside. Your hair growth increases, the muscular and the skeletal systems improve. We see a lot of things with teeth and eyes, which is incredible. Not only in older people, but in young people. I mean, we've seen some pretty radical things with teeth and eyes with younger people as well. Within 6 months, 14 of the 15 people. So what they did is they brought 15 people into the lab. They tested them to look at their vascular age. Your vascular age is your heart, your blood vessels, all those things. And they had the X39 patch on them. They have them wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off for 6 months. They brought them back in 6 months. They tested their vascular age again. And 14 of 15 of those participants, nearly all of them, had reduced their vascular age by an average of 8 years. 8 years younger with the vascular system within 6 months of wearing the patch. Boy, if that's not a reason to wear it, I don't know what is. We've seen a real, I feel like in the world of heart health, we've seen such expedited inflammation in the last 4 years. So I encourage you, put the patch on, commit to wearing it for the next 6 months. Let's see what your health does. Let's see what your heart health does. Let's see those changes. Allow the body to change, allow the body to heal, right? It takes a little time for that. Don't stop until your miracle happens. Come on, you guys. So David Schmidt, the founder, actually says it's not anti-aging, it's actually age reversing. So if you want to learn more, you can go to startx39.com. Great website, StartX39 website. Jot that down. There's going to be 3 videos on there. The first video is a 2-minute video all about light. And so you can learn more about light therapy. The second video is all about the X39 patch. It's only 3 minutes long. So if you watch the first 2 videos, you've spent 5 minutes on it. But if you say, I really love those 2 videos, there's actually a third video of David Schmidt himself. It's 18 minutes long, where he talks about how he spent 12 years, $4 million in research to develop this X39 patch. So go to startx39.com, scroll down to the third video, and you'll be very much educated and inspired by David Schmidt, the founder of this technology. Who is this guy, right? He actually created LifeWave almost 20 years ago. He was contracted by the United States, basically the Navy SEALs, to create something to keep these guys awake during Hell Week. Well, David Schmidt does not believe in caffeine or stimulants or, anything that's going to create a big chemical reaction in the body. He doesn't like stimulants. And so what David Schmidt did is he created a patch, a phototherapy patch. It's called Energy Enhancer. It's still available to us actually in our back office, but he created the Energy Enhancer patch for the Navy SEALs to keep them alert and awake during Hell Week. And how it works is actually you put the patches on, and what it does is it actually uses fat oxidation. So it utilizes your own fat, burns your own fat to keep your energy up. So these guys, these Navy SEALs, did incredible during Hell Week. And then the next group of people that wanted to use the patch after the Navy SEALs had shown its efficacy was the United States Female Olympic Swim Team. They were in trials, competing for the Olympics. These girls put the patches on down at Stanford, and they all started breaking their own records. Many of them qualified for the U.S. Olympic swim team. It was incredible, you guys. People actually were watching on ESPN, and they're like, what is on these swimmers' bodies? Are they doping? They're so fast. Why are they so fast? So the NCAA and the World Anti-Doping Association came in, tested the athletes for performance stimulants. Of course, none of them had any. Then they tested the patches because they're like, well, what's in the patch? And they're like, there's nothing in these patches that could harm or, influence these athletes. There's no stimulants, right? Because they didn't understand light therapy, right? There's no transdermal effect with the patch, nothing leaches in. And so it was very interesting to see all these female athletes do incredibly well. Now, since then, we've got thousands and thousands of athletes on the patch. Again, it's for everybody and their dog. I should note that animals have phenomenal results on this patch. It's great for all mammals. So dogs, cats, horses, we've got $1 million race horses using these patches. So the patch literally is for everyone. David Schmidt, gem of a human being. Scott and I, when we went to the first convention, and David said, my first superhero was Jesus Christ. We loved it. He wants to be in 1 billion homes with these patches. I don't know about you, but I can hitch on to that goal. I've always been called to about 1 million people. And when he said, we want to take people and put these patches in 1 billion homes, like, I love generations of health. I love healthy families, from grandmas to grandchildren and everything in between, including the pets. We want everybody healthy. So David is a genius. He has over 130 patents. He's got over 70 patents on regenerative medicine. So he's really into helping the body to regenerate to a younger, healthier state. Again, he's got 89 clinical studies. He is just relentless at creating incredible natural technologies to help our bodies to heal and regenerate. So we're so thankful for David Schmidt. He actually, everything is so incredible because he's got all these patents, and he actually took out the patent on the X39 patch, the stem cell activation patch, 3 years ago on July 21st, 2020. The company literally exploded in that moment, right? There is not another patch in the world that can activate this GHKCU peptide that activates our own stem cells. We are it. This is not a Me Too company. There's not another company out there that has products like us. You can't go buy this at, CVS or Walgreens. You have to talk to the person who shared this video with you. I love this product. I love that he has it patented. We've got 17 more years, you guys. This is a 20-year patent. We have 17 more years to impact a whole lot of lives, save and change a whole lot of lives, and make a whole lot of wealth if you're interested in the opportunity. And so, again, it's a 19-year-old, almost 20-year-old company. The company went from doing about 20 to 30 million a year until 3 years ago when he launched the X39 patch. The company just bulleted to 280 million that year. This year, we're on track to do over $400 million. We're open and operational in over 75 countries. The patches are made here in the United States of America. Woo! There's also one other place where the patches are made, over in Ireland, but we have never had any supply chain issues or anything like that during the pandemic, which has been incredible. So think of people that you know in other parts of the world. Canada is relaunching here the first part of August. So think of your Canadian friends. Here's the beautiful thing. Everybody everywhere has stem cells. There's not a person watching this that doesn't have stem cells and that doesn't need more of them. Everybody needs additional stem cells because the aging process literally depletes them. So if we're not activating, what are we doing? We're actually getting a lot older faster. So if you're a person watching that says, I don't want to get older faster, activate your stem cells, put the patch on. It's so incredibly easy, and so David Schmidt had a decision when he realized how explosive this growth in this technology was. He said, we can do the old kind of model where it's kind of the old distribution model where we put commercials on TV and kind of that big pharma model where, there's a lots of chains of money in between those commercials you see and then the actual product, right? In fact, I have a friend of mine who's a medical doctor who put this thing together for me right here because she said the big pharma model is on its way out. Regenerative medicine is on its way in because that's the real freedom model, right? So when you think about how much money is being spent on commercials, look at this, 30 billion a year on medical marketing. It's crazy to think about. And did you guys know that 7 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies spent 37% more on commercials and marketing than they did on research and development? It's incredible to think about these things, isn't it? So once you understand that, wow, every one of these has to get a piece of the pie, right? And by the time it gets to the patient's hands, they might still be paying a copay. And unfortunately, we know with most drugs, there's 1 to 3 side effects, right? And I'm not anti-drug because if you need a drug in an emergency situation, you need to get it. If you need emergency surgery, get it, right? But for long-term health, the system has really failed us. And so we are stepping into this new freedom model, the new regenerative health model. And what I love about this is you have the freedom to purchase directly from the company at wholesale, talk to who invited you on this, sign up as a brand partner so you get the wholesale price always. Just tell them I want the wholesale price always. I love wholesale, right? And then if you love this product, let's say you love these patches and you say, oh my gosh, this could help my sister-in-law, this could help my next door neighbor. You have the opportunity to share with others. If you feel like, hey, I'm blessed to be a blessing, and if you feel called to help people, there is going to be a second video where we discuss more of the opportunity with this, but I'm here to tell you the opportunity is huge. First and foremost, for your healing and your family's healing. And then if you're interested in sharing that, that is an incredible opportunity as well. So what's most important to you? Mine is definitely my family. That's why we got started. Like I said, when I saw what happened with my aging mom and dad, I just could not share this technology, because I thought, wow, if it did that for them at 77 and 80, what's it going to do for everybody else I know? And so it's been an incredible blessing. Like I said, it's been a year of miracles for Scott and I. We just love it. The final thing I want to show you, let me stop share here. I want to show you something. At the beginning of January of 2023, I actually did a little presentation, a little overview, because we had only joined July of 2022. But from July through January 1st, I actually put together a little presentation that showed all these incredible testimonies. And I thought I would just show them to you again real quick. And again, make sure you reach out to the person on here to get started. I will show you the different packages that you can get started with here in a moment, because I think that it's very, very important for you to get started with the right package for you. The packages they range in price from $125 all the way up to $1,600, just depending on what it is that you and your family are looking for. But I thought I would just quickly take you over to this little presentation that I had done on January of this year. And I kind of put together, anyone who wanted to send me their results could send me their results. And Scott and I literally had 600 inbox messages. And so obviously we couldn't post all those in our presentation, but I'm just here to show you a few of them so that you guys can see just a little bit more behind the curtain, how incredible this patch is. Just incredible, you guys. And this technology is just getting better, stronger. It's a fast technology. It works quickly for many people, so you don't have to wait, 8 months to see the results. Many people experience the results sometimes within minutes, which is so incredible. Oh, let me hang on a second. Let me go back here. So as we scroll through this, this is the messages I got. I felt almost crazy telling my husband after 2 minutes of being on it, I had probably 50% better range of motion. And within 10 minutes, I was lifting my arms straight up, which I've not been able to do without pain. This is crazy. Yes, I'm going to definitely join the Zoom tonight. And I said back to that person, trust me, I can't even believe all the testimonies. It's like miracles. The Holy Spirit told me we're coming into an abundant season of miracles. Hands, we see so many incredible skin stuff. But again, skin is your largest organ. So if it's doing that to your skin, the question is, what's it doing internally, right? This is 3 months on X39 alone. I know this woman's mother. And I mean, just an incredible transformation of this woman's skin. Incredible. Even the age spot, you can see over here how it lightened tremendously. So we see many, many things with skin. Here's some of my friend Rachel. Her inflammation is better. Pain is less. Her hair has finally stopped falling out since she's had COVID, right? So, I mean, look at this woman, how different she looks. This is when she started. I mean, she literally looks, she got rid of all the inflammation in her body. And when that happens, you look different, you feel different, right? Everything changes. This is Mama Kissy. Mama Kissy's a joy. This woman had SLE lupus for decades. And within 1 month of being on the X39 patch, she actually was able to get off of 9 of her medications. Now, again, this does not treat, cure, or prevent disease. God is the healer. God heals our bodies. All the patch does is it allows the body to be in a position to heal, right? It's activating those right frequencies of light to be able to heal. So Mama Kissy, literally no Botox, no nothing. I mean, this woman, when you would see her in person, she looked 20 years younger. It was wild. That was her husband was carrying her around with her SLE lupus. I mean, it was bad, you guys. She couldn't dress herself. She couldn't cook. She couldn't clean. And within a month, she's dancing down the hall with her cowboy boots on to Footloose. So there she is again. I've suffered with the SLE for 15 plus years, been using the X39 and 49, 7 weeks now. My quality of life has changed 100%. I'm off every single medication, a total of 9. I feel fabulous. No more flares, no more pain, no more terrible skin issues. I'm social now and making new amazing friends. I have my life back. Praise the Lord. My friend Jaime, here's something very cool and exciting. My wife's aunt is in a wheelchair due to loss of leg from diabetes. She's had open heart surgery, functioning with only one kidney. We've had a few scares with her. She does not sleep well. She's on dialysis. She'd always look run down and tired. Her skin was always pale. After a week on the X39 patch, she seems to zoom around in a wheelchair, looks lively, sleeping so much better. Her skin looks so much better, and her face has just turned so much more life now. Everyone's amazed by the turnaround, right? And then we could talk about some of the other patches, but we're not going to get into them tonight. But talk to the person who invited you on here. There are incredible. All of David's patches are incredible, right? All of them. I say, when in doubt, start with X39. Start with that one first. But the Eon patch will pull the body out of that stress state, that sympathetic state, back to a parasympathetic state within 15 to 30 minutes. Do you guys know that your body cannot heal in a stress state? It's why when you walk into an ICU, everyone's quiet. There's no phones ringing. Everybody's whispering, right? So when your body's in a parasympathetic state or a relaxed, it's called rest and repair, that's where it can actually repair itself. If it's in that stressed cortisol state, it cannot repair. So we've got everybody from saying, I'm off my depression medication. Her husband is dialed back on his insulin. He's a type 1. We've got 4 type 1s that have completely dialed back on their insulin. You guys, I could just go on and on. This is my husband, Scott. He has no more trigger finger. He had no more tingling in his hands after just like about a week on the patch, which was incredible because he always would have tingling hands at night. People on fibromyalgia are doing a ton better. We see a lot of autoimmune conditions. I love this woman. She said, I do not sell this patch, but I want to give my testimony. She has no intention of selling it. She had been suffering with chronic back pain for a long time. She said the test came back fine. She couldn't even do her part-time job cleaning anymore. She couldn't sleep in her own bed. She couldn't sit. She's only 37 years old with kids, you guys. Along with the pain, I had awful fatigue. Like when she said she was tired, she was beyond tired, right? She'd nap almost daily and would still go to bed between 8 and 10 and sleep 10 to 12 hours. My energy level was 0. She's 37. She says, a month ago, I was introduced to LifeWave. When my mother-in-law put them on me, I had immediate relief. I cried. I have not had anything for pain in the last month. I haven't napped at all. I sleep better. My dishes are caught up. I have energy to do laundry. She said, I do not sell these, but I will tell as many people as I can about my life-changing experience with them, right? It's overwhelmingly amazing how great she feels. So again, I could go on and on. This woman, X39, her daughter-in-law, Quintana, a friend of mine, this woman struggled with West Nile for 22 years. She's had pain, right? And within 20 minutes of putting X39 patch on, this woman was pain-free. So again, we see miracles. And again, we want to hear your miracle because individual results vary, right? We're not telling you it's going to treat, cure, prevent all your diseases. We're just saying, give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, right? So we could tell you over and over these, I mean, from young to old and everybody in between. Look at this. I could just go on and on from hair growth. Hair's coming back the original color, but you guys get the point. I could literally show you that presentation, and it is available in our Facebook group for those of you that may be interested in that. So the final thing I want to show you is actually how you can purchase the patches at the cheapest possible price. So you're going to want to make sure you go back to the person, again, that invited you on this tonight. They love you. They care about you enough to show something to you that has absolutely changed the course of their lives. And now they want to help you to change yours, right? And so I want to show you the different packages that you can get started with, because I think it's so important for you guys to decide which one's right for you. So when you get started, go back to the person, say, I want to be a wholesale customer, a brand partner, it's called. And these are the different packages. They range, like I said, from $125 all the way up to $1,600 called Diamond Pack. So at Diamond, you get the best deal, right? That the sleeves end up being $83 a sleeve for the X39, okay? Instead of 100. So you get quite the steal on them. But if you're a person saying, hey, I just want it for my husband and I, you could get started with the silver pack. You could get started with the gold. For when we got started, we have a family of 5. I wanted all of us to wear them. We got started with the gold pack. Guess what? Within 3 days, we upgraded to diamond because we were out of patches. My husband said, Renita, I've had 7 knee surgeries. Quit selling my patches. So we actually upgraded to the diamond pack. And we just paid the difference in price and we got the difference in sleeves. So it worked out great. So if you're interested in this, do what's right for you and your family financially. But I'm here to tell you these patches are incredible and they will change your life. And so if you have a heart to serve and you're saying, Renita, I love this, I want to share this with people, know that we have a second presentation that covers all of the financial opportunity and it is fantastic. And with that being said, that's it. Get back with the person who shared this with you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and shine his face upon you all the days of your life. And remember, check out startx39.com and watch those videos and prepare to be amazed. God bless all of you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.